What if you could ask a room full of millionaires? One simple question, not about their fancy cars, not about their big houses, a real question about how they actually built their wealth. We decided to do exactly that. We went out and found over 100 self-made millionaires. They were not people who inherited their money. Entrepreneurs, investors, creators who started with very little. We wanted to know their secrets. So we asked the same direct question, what is the single most important thing you did to get rich? The answers were surprisingly simple. They changed how we think about building wealth forever. Their responses were short. Their responses were direct. Their responses were powerful. We didn't get complicated formulas or confusing financial jargon. Instead, we got real stories and honest advice. One woman, a software developer who sold her company, told us, stop trading your time for money. Build something that works while you sleep. Another, an early investor in a now famous tech company, said, I just bought a small piece of things I believed in, and then I waited. Patience is the hardest part. These were not just lucky breaks, they were deliberate actions and mindsets that anyone could learn to adopt. We collected every single answer to find the patterns. We spoke to people from all walks of life. Founders who started businesses in their garages with nothing more than an idea and a laptop. Real estate investors who bought their first small property with their life savings. Creators who turned a passion project, like a YouTube channel or a blog, into a multi-million-dollar enterprise. Their backgrounds were different, but their core principles were remarkably similar. After analyzing all the interviews, a clear picture emerged. We found that nearly every millionaire we spoke to followed one of three main paths to wealth. In the following sections, we will break down each path, step by step, so you can see which one might be right for you. The first path is what we call build and sell value. This is the path of the entrepreneur, the maker, the problem solver. The millionaires who followed this path all started with one simple focus, solving a real problem for real people. They didn't chase money directly. Instead, they chased solutions. One founder of a cleaning service said, I just saw my neighbors were too busy to keep their houses clean. I offered to do it for them. That was it. This is the foundation of building value. You find a point of pain, a frustration, an unmet need. Then you create a way to make that pain go away. The money is a byproduct of how well you solve that problem. Many entrepreneurs fall in love with their own ideas without asking if anyone else cares. Our interviews showed the opposite. Listen to problems. A software founder shared this wisdom. Your first product should be a little embarrassing. If you wait until it's perfect, you've waited too long. This is the concept of a minimum viable product, or MVP. It is the simplest possible version of your solution that you can offer to a customer. One millionaire who created a popular subscription box told us, my first box was just a collection of items I bought at a local store and put in a plain cardboard box. I sold 5 to my friends to see if they'd even pay for it. The goal is to get real feedback from real customers before you invest too much time and money. This feedback is gold. It guides your next steps and ensures you are building something people truly want, not just what you think they want. Section 3. Price for profit, not popularity. One of them, who built an e-commerce brand, was very direct. Your price is a signal of value. If you price it too low, you are telling the world your solution isn't very valuable. One consultant we spoke to said, when I doubled my prices, I lost half my clients. But I ended up making the same amount of money for half the work, and the clients I kept were the best ones. Section 4. Scale smart, not just fast. Restaurant owner. My first attempt at a second location failed. I tried to do everything myself and the quality collapsed. I learned I couldn't just clone myself. I had to build systems. Smart scaling isn't about doing more work. It's about building systems that do the work for you. To scale, evolve from doer to designer. Your job is to improve systems, lead the team, and think long-term. The second path to wealth is quieter and less glamorous than building a business, but it is just as powerful. This is the path of the investor. Their secret weapon is a force that Albert Einstein supposedly called the eighth wonder of the world, compound interest. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill, getting bigger and bigger on its own. One retired teacher we spoke to said, I wasn't a stock market genius. I just saved a little bit every month for 40 years. The last 10 years were McCollin, so the money started making more money than I was. Our Albert San Sadai, Bisten Sain. visual simple interest versus compound interest graph. The key ingredient is time. The earlier you start, the more time your money has to work for you. Instead of seeing $1 as something to spend, you start to see it as a seed. You can either eat the seed now, or you can plant it and let it grow into a tree that produces more seeds for you. A retired engineer said, "Why try to find the one winning needle in the haystack? Just buy the whole haystack." When you buy an S&P 500 index fund, you are instantly becoming a part owner of 500 of the largest and most successful companies in the United States. This gives you instant diversification. Another common starting point for investors is real estate. For many, this path starts with buying their first home. One of the most powerful secrets shared by the investor millionaires was the concept of automation. The money is invested before you even have a chance to see it or spend it. Investing a fixed amount on a regular schedule is called dollar cost averaging. It removes the temptation to time the market. Also, be obsessive about avoiding high fees. Fees are like termites, one said. You don't see them, but they silently eat away at your wealth. The biggest difference between successful investors and those who fail is not intelligence. It's temperament. Wise investors cultivated a long-term mindset and refused to panic. The stock market is the only market where things go on sale and everyone runs out of the store screaming. I do the opposite. When stocks are on sale, I buy more. Build a patient mindset with an emergency fund, a separate savings account with 3 to 6 months living expenses. This is not investment money. This is your life. Happens money. My system is simple. I buy consistently. I hold patiently. I trust the process. The third path to wealth is about being resourceful. It's for people who understand that money isn't the only asset you can leverage. One successful consultant told us, "At first I sold my time by the hour, then I packaged my knowledge into a course and sold it to thousands." That's leverage. Millionaires broke out of that trap by investing heavily in skills. They became experts in high-value, in-demand skills. A freelance graphic designer we interviewed, "I was exhausted from client work. So, I created a set of design templates and sold them online. They now make me money every single day, whether I'm working or not." In the beginning, I was the agency. To grow, I had to get the business out of my head and into a process document. That playbook let me hire my first team member. They look at every task they do. They ask, "How can I create a process for this so someone else can do it?" This is how they buy back their time. An investor who made his fortune in tech startups said, "I didn't have the best ideas, but I knew the people who did. My job was to connect them with the people who had the money. I created value by being the bridge." Building a powerful network is not about collecting business cards. It's about genuinely providing value to others without expecting anything immediately in return. As one well-connected entrepreneur told us, your network is your net worth. Build it by depositing value into your relationships long before you ever need to make a withdrawal. The ultimate goal of leveraging your time, talent, and network is to make the transition from active income to passive income. Passive income is money earned from assets you own. These assets work for you with little to no daily effort. I used my freelance writing money to hire a developer to build my online course platform. My active work funded the creation of my passive asset. The goal: passive income greater than living expenses. That's financial independence. You don't have to work for money. You can work on what you love, on your terms. While these three paths seem different, they are united by a few common threads. Each one requires a long-term perspective, a commitment to continuous learning, and a focus on providing or identifying real value. None of the millionaires we spoke to got rich overnight. They got rich through deliberate, consistent actions repeated over years. They understood that wealth isn't found, it's built. The good news is, these paths are not secret. They are available for anyone to follow. Knowledge without action is merely entertainment. The most important question now is not what they did, but what you will do. The final secret shared by nearly every millionaire was this: they started. They didn't wait for the perfect time. They didn't wait for the perfect idea. They took one small, imperfect step toward their goal. Then they took another. First, pick one path that resonates with you now. Second, take one small action today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. Build action example. Write down 10 problems you noticed this week. Invest action example. Open a low-cost brokerage account online. Leverage action example. Email one person you admire and ask for a 15-minute virtual coffee. The size of the action doesn't matter. What matters is breaking inertia and creating momentum. Your financial future will be determined by the small, consistent choices you start making today. What will your first step be?